see. Well, welcome to episode, this is 73. We got my brother Kyle here as a guest again. Thank you for coming.
Happy to be back.
Mike's over here. No, it's cool. Mike's
You
over
gotta
here
save the
playing.
environment, man. No straws.
Mike's over here playing bartender with some, what is it? Virgin Cokes?
They're Mexican Cokes, yeah. Not cocaine, to be clear, too. The Coca-Cola that comes in the glass bottle, which I always find to taste superior to the regular plastic American Cokes.
I mean, if you think about it...
It's the real sugar. They use cane sugar instead of the high fructose or fructose if you're a scientist, corn syrup.
And plus, like, you can tell with even, like, just water bottles, after the water's sitting in the bottle for long enough, the water kind of tastes kind of a little like plastic. So I would have to...
Any drink, there's always the people that refuse to drink a beer in an aluminum can, or they only like it in a can or glass, vice versa.
That's fucking weird.
The container...
It does change the
gives off
taste.
the taste, yeah.
You can have a Budweiser in a can and a glass bottle. It tastes different.
I honestly, when drinking pop, the best way to get it is out of what are those, like the fountain? That has always
tastes different.
Tastiest.
Yeah.
It's because of all the mold that sits in there, because half the places never clean them.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Well,
Yep.
That's my favorite part of it, though. It's so tasty.
I think that's what's funny about
Build up
draft
your immune
beers.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, with draft beer too, there's always mold in the lines. If you think there isn't, you're just in denial. Like, if they clean the lines that day, one, there's a chance of chemicals. So you probably have that small period where it's got any residue of chemical out and no mold has yet formed, but probably within like a couple days of just, that line sitting there, if they don't properly bleed them out too, it's just going to get gross.
Can you guys just imagine how gross just the standard fast food place is? I mean... You got to think there's probably all those like cracks and crevices where grease and shit and hair and stuff just all accumulates, and how close it is to your fucking food.
I think a lot of disgusting things happen in restaurants, but I think most people would be surprised if they looked at the inside of like a local popular restaurant versus a popular chain fast food place. It may not always be the best food, but a lot of these like mom and pop restaurants, even though I love supporting local businesses, that's the places you see that pop up on Bar Rescue when that jacked up roided guy comes in yelling at people with his clipboard and tears down all their decorations, and they have like raccoons up in the ceiling tiles. Rats in the freezer, they're like dripping down onto the chicken.
Well,
oh my god!
You're supposed to store your rats. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't just throw them away.
Yeah.
Those people, they pretty much only have like themselves to answer to. Like they're self-regulating. People like at that point.
Right, because there's no regional manager or there's a health inspector, but sometimes you see like those certifications on the wall say like 2015. It's like, how often do they come around this place?
I come over like once a fucking decade.
Right.
Like a
1996. It's all faded and brown on the edges.
It's like, yeah, the health inspector was just here.
All the menus are laminated in just yellow beneath it.
Yeah.
They were clearly white at some point, but now they're just yellow.
Those can be the best restaurants, though. Those places that you went to when you're 7 years old with your parents, and you go back to when you're like 24, and they still have the same menu.
Oh
Maybe
God.
a few modifications they crossed out with vis-a-vis marker or modified a price on the menu, but basically it's the the local pita wraps, burgers, all that type of stuff. At least for us in the Midwest.
My favorite place to go to as a kid was definitely Old Country Buffet.
Oh my God!
Really?
Yeah, I loved Old Country Buffet.
That was. Yeah.
I think my favorite place besides pizza, just a regular restaurant, was Leo's, Coney Island around us.
Oh man!
I just loved getting Coney food. Whether it be actual Conies, a salad with chicken on it, like they would have like the breaded chicken, and then they would make like a chef salad with all the chopped lunch meats and cheese and a hard-boiled egg. I love all that. Breakfast.
At Old Country Buffet, they pretty much just served like Coney food anyways, you know what I mean?
It never tasted, it tasted like Mega Blocks compared to Legos though. It tasted like you're eating like 3/4 of every meat, like a food item you were eating. Like it tasted like 3/4 of the taste of a burger,
But the variety
3/4 the
make
taste
up
of
for
mashed
it.
potatoes.
I honestly,
I don't know.
I can't think of like what my favorite restaurant as a kid was.
I just say whatever, really. If I think back, like anything that was mainly unhealthy, especially, I was all about it. My parents had to rein me in. I would have been even fatter than I got to as a kid. anything, cheeseburgers, anything with meat, cheese, breading, I was really into, which doesn't lead to a very good physique or athletic performance.
I used to really like Burger King as well too.
Oh, Burger King, that's the
Zesty
pinnacle.
Sauce is still the best.
I'll eat zesty sauce fucking plain. I don't give a shit. That is so good.
You just basically, one of the two pinnacles, that and Taco Bell. I mean, if you're trying to eat bad.
I never got into Taco Bell. Like,
Really?
I can probably count how many times I've had Taco Bell in my hand.
Do you know what got me? I remember the moment that hooked me onto Taco Bell. I barely get it now, but I still think it's good every once in a while. I usually will spring for Chipotle or Qdoba now because I really like the quesos and just getting like a big bowl and mixing it all up.
Mm-hmm.
What got me into Taco Bell was way back in the day before they had apps and all these social media campaigns, back when it was just a place you saw on the road. It was just like, do you want McDonald's or the cheap Mexican substitute? And back then they introduced, to get more customers, this 89-cent half pound,
79, 89, 99.
yeah, it was a half pound bean, Spanish rice, and beef and cheese, right? Burrito. It was
Something
at
like
least
that.
yeah, it was basically beef, cheese, and rice.
You're not talking about the 5-layer, are you?
No, this is like the 89-cent. It was like half pound. It was basically just a bunch of meat, cheese, and like Mexican rice, something you'd make at home in a big tortilla. Less than $1. You get 3 of them with tax, less than $4. I mean, 3 of them. We're talking a pound and a half of unknown monkey class D donkey meat mixed with some sort of fake cheese, and I was killing 3 of them at a time. I got hooked. And they started raising the prices. Then 5 layers came around. Now they have like 9 layers.
I kind of have a theory on
Deep fried enchiladas.
how people get into Taco Bell or not.
How people get into it.
Kyle, so you said that you never really got into Taco Bell. And as far as I know, you've never been like super into drinking as well too, right?
Not really, no.
I feel like the people who are into Taco Bell, they like to party and drink at some point in their lives, and they got used to getting fucked up and then getting Taco Bell, and it kind of just became a staple.
Yeah, because you have it when you're drunk, and then you're kind of chasing the dragon like guys do on drugs. Because you think of how good it tasted that one night.
Yep.
When you were just out of your skull in the back of your buddy's 94 Honda Accord. And then you start trying to grab it yourself on the way home and just never does the same thing. You think, maybe it was a bad location. I'm going to get it again next Thursday on the way home.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like when you're chasing that perfect Egg McMuffin you had when you were 13 and you were in the drive-thru with your parents and they handed it to you and it was perfectly cheesy and crispy and you just never get it again.
All right, so McDonald's, once upon a time, they had added a new breakfast item. It was just a biscuit and a piece of chicken, just their chicken biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
That was the
fuck?
best.
Was it the fried chicken, right?
Yeah, it was like fried chicken. Yeah,
and they
that
put
was-
honey on it. You get the honey package.
You could. I never used
Tremendous.
the
What
honey.
was this?
You need the honey. That's tremendous.
I absolutely loved their best. This was like over 10 years ago now.
I think you're just
Yeah.
making this up. I've never heard about
okay,
this.
I was
But
addicted.
we
to
don't
this.
need to be missing out on this. I think if we just go to Popeyes, I think they have a meal with biscuit and chicken, and they also have honey and hot
I've
sauce.
never even had Popeyes.
Yeah, me
Like
neither.
I've seen it, and it's just. one
I
of those
find that
things that's like,
surprising.
eh.
I don't know why. I've been there. I've been to Chick-fil-A.
I've had Chick-fil-A. There's one like 20 minutes away
I
from my
got that
house.
once.
So
I got that once.
Here's a rare one.
Wait, there's the Chick-fil-A in Michigan? I thought that was only a West Coast.
There's
thing.
one in Grand Rapids. There's one at the...
there's 2 in Lansing.
One downtown
surprisingly.
now.
There's Eastern has one.
Oh, fuck.
Didn't they put one downtown?
No wonder there
I
was
don't
a
know.
food truck with...
I thought there's one in Greektown.
I don't know. I know there's 2 in Lansing. Well, basically Lansing. There's 2 in Lansing. Grand Rapids. Eastern has one. I think they're adding one in Novi or Northville soon. One of those 2 locations starts with an N.
Well, let's get into the more fringe here. How about Smash Burger? Have you
Never
been to
heard
a
of it.
Smash Burger?
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
No, never had it.
I first had it at a layover in Utah just for like an hour, and I ate this burger because it was the closest place that didn't have some crazy, like sit down, like Japanese cuisine place. I'm by myself
Oh.
with a 1 hour to burn, so I grabbed this burger. Had a really good buttery bun. I'm telling people about it like it's this exotic thing they only have like out west, and then I look online and there's one like 10 minutes from my work.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's one over here, like 15 minutes away.
No, well, good. You don't have to go all the way to Utah for it.
Yeah. It's pretty good. But how about this? Long John Silver's. Have you encountered this out on the open seas?
Never had it.
No, every time someone mentions that, which it's funny because I was thinking about that when we were talking about just like different places for food. There is a Day to Remember song. They had not released an album for like a couple years, and I don't remember the name of it because I don't listen to them anymore. But if I remember correctly, they had.
Wasn't there a song called Long John Silver?
No.
I thought there was.
No, but at the end,
I've heard a song.
song. At the end of one of their songs, they had like left all. I'm pretty sure they like self-produced it or whatever. They like left the previous record label, but they had essentially like commentary at the end of the song when they were like.
Oh, when they're talking about the
and they're talking about like their tour and stuff, and they're like talking about where they're gonna go. It's like
I think that's Better Off This Way.
Yeah,
or either that or one of those that same CD.
It's from that
Yes.
one. And at the end, they're like, "Where should we go?" It's like we should go Long John Silver's. No one wants to stop at fucking Long John Silver's.
Okay, yeah. That's where I'm close correlating in my head.
Yep. That's the like. Anytime I think of Long John Silver's, I think of A Day to Remember now.
So have you been to Long John Silver's?
Yeah, so my friend David, his dad is obsessed with Long John Silver's. So we'd be hanging out. He'd be like, "You guys want to go to Long John Silver's?" And we'd be like, but he'd pay for us. So
Okay,
free food, yeah.
And I don't know. It's just one of those places. When I think about it, I have feelings of happiness, but also despair, depression, horror. I don't know. It's just.
Does fish do that to you?
No, it's not fish. I love fish, but it's just that place. There's so many emotions involved. It feels wrong. You shouldn't be eating it, but it's also there's a few things that are good. Like
do you feel bad for the fish?
No, it's just you feel like you're eating the saddest fish like dinner like you would have at a nice cookout or a church, but in like the saddest scenario possible.
So I guess compare like Long John Silver's to like I don't know Kroger brand fish sticks.
Dude, fish sticks suck.
Oh, whoa! I love
Okay,
fish
like
sticks.
the cheapest, like 100 of them in like how they have those popsicle stick wraps.
Yeah.
Okay, it's probably equal to or better than that. But any sort of like good like breaded fish patties or whatever they call them, fillets at the store,
Fish fillets. Now that's a different breed. Fish sticks.
or if they're sticks from fillets, they just chop them.
Yeah,
thin.
it's got a. I'm super picky on
It's different
those.
if they like smush it into like a thing versus they cut fillet.
Yeah, like if like most cheap fish stick brands, like they suck. They're horrible. I think they're absolute garbage. Even like, you know what, strip. I just don't like fish sticks. I don't like how crunchy they are.
Yeah.
You have to cook them like a certain.
I like the
point.
crunchiness
yeah,
personally.
I love
If you
crunchy fish
accidentally
sticks.
cook them like a minute too
By the way,
long,
I'm letting you
it's-
continue, but I'm very offended right now. I'm very
If you let
offended.
them cook a minute too long, they're worthless. You might just feed them to raccoons outside.
I'll eat them until they're like turning black. Any sort of really dark brown crunchiness, that's fine.
That's ideal, in fact, because I feel like if I'm eating a fish stick and it's like not crunchy, it's not cooked all the way.
No,
Because
because they're soft. There's no like
Yeah.
mistake.
See, that's the thing with fish sticks. Like with fish fillets, you get like a slight crunch to them. They're nice, but you don't want them crunchy or anything ridiculous. With fish sticks, it's crunchy or they just don't taste great. But to me, they don't taste really
Excuse me.
crunchy either. So it's like, eh.
I like everything crunchy personally. That's fries,
Fries.
chicken strips, shrimp. That
fish stick,
yeah, yeah.
If it's like fried or supposed to be,
Like mozzarella sticks.
Oh
is there,
my
Is there
God.
anything more sad than biting into a soggy mozzarella stick?
Oh my.
When the cheese is harder than the breading?
Oh no.
It just feels like everything in the universe is wrong at that moment.
I went to Arby's probably a couple of weeks ago for the first time in ages.
Dude,
and
their curly fries are still amazing.
I got
Last time
they
I
are
had
good.
them.
While I was there though, I got instead of fries, I got as my side a order of mozzarella sticks, and that exact same thing happened. I went out to go
Oh.
and bite it, and I just bit it in half, and the cheese in there was literally it wasn't melty at all. It was like I took a fucking cheese stick out of the fridge and just bit it like a fucking animal.
Oh.
You probably got like the snickle fritz, like the.
I mean, look, it was tasty, I guess, but I knew I was missing out.
You know what happened? Some guy probably ordered mozzarella sticks, and then he swapped it for curly fries, and then you were behind him, and you ordered mozzarella sticks, and they're like, "We don't want to make fresh ones. Let's just grab these ones. They're already sitting out."
See, I fucked up. I should have just taken them and no matter what, put them in my toaster oven for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, just to get
Yeah.
them all, like lubed up. I fucked up.
If you want to be a real savage and risk getting unknown things in your food, possible contamination, spitting, then go through a fast food line like McDonald's and ask for everything fresh to order. I'd say I would like a egg McMuffin fresh to order. I'd like 2 sausage burritos fresh to order. So it means they can't take it off the ready rack. They make it all fresh.
I had a coworker
It tastes so much better though.
Who when let's say we like decide, okay, we're gonna get some like I don't know, fast food from someplace. You fill in the blank, but let's just use McDonald's for an example. Anytime she would let's say she wasn't going and she would, and like one of our other coworkers was, and this coworker X was telling what her order was, she would tell us to tell the vendor, hey, I don't want salt on my fries.
I knew that's where this was going.
Not because she didn't like salt, but only because they're forced to make like a fresh batch of fries without salt in there.
What I heard from the various interwebs and like the 2 people I know that actually work at McDonald's, that just annoys them because they know that they want fresh fries, but they won't say it, because if you ask for fresh fries, they'll still give you fresh fries.
See, yeah, it's like you're trying to be like, what's the word that I'm looking for when you're trying to like tiptoe around a subject?
Yeah, just evading, dodging.
Trying to get like a workaround like through the system, like, oh, I can get my fresh fries this way.
Almost passive aggressive about it, you know what I mean?
Well, I have a question for you guys. So, what would possess someone who's got $8 in their pocket and they're hungry, and say they have a full hour to spare? What would possess someone? What dark place do they have to get to in their head, where they would go to, say, Wendy's even, or a McDonald's?
Because it's close, cheap, and easy.
And get the standard, like a meal, like a burger and fries, and pay like a strong like $7.75 these days at these fast food restaurants, over paying the exact same amount at Five Guys.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
I just don't get it. You see them fry the fries in front of you. You can add seasoning to them. They make the burger right there.
And
unless you're really in a rush and eating it while you're driving, why would you get a sit-down meal when you could get something for equal price? If we're talking burgers, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, if you want like a fish sandwich and some shit like that, then
no,
whatever.
You're right, because I mean, when I do, let's say I do go and get fast food, let's say like McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'll never get like the like quarter pounder, like crazy special burger that they got going on, because like you said, yeah, it does cost like $6-7, and at that point, yeah, you might as well go get a fucking real burger. I'll get like the just double cheeseburger.
Yeah, same here. I'll just get like I'll just get the cheap stuff and be like, I'm out of here.
And like you said, that's like late night food. It's when you're going out and you hit a drive-through and you're trying to recover from having a couple of drinks. It's not a choice I'll consciously make at like 2 p.m. on a Sunday. I'll just make my own burger.
I don't like eating fast food at lunch at work, because I feel like it just slows me down.
Yeah.
I go to sleep.
Go ahead.
To slightly branch off the topic of fast food, but still stay on the topic of food, have either of you ever had a place called Anna's House?
I have not.
It's like breakfast, brunch, lunch type food. I'm trying to think of where the closest one to here, like this location is. There's one not far from here, but the main one is in like Westland. There's only a handful of them. They're in like Westland, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, and somewhere around this location.
I've seen Auntie Anne's before. I don't know if that's anything related to it.
You said it's Anne's house?
Anna's house.
Anna's house?
Yes, Kevin.
I think I've seen a sign. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's an import-export business. I don't know if they're selling Danishes.
It's my favorite restaurant. It is the best breakfast food I've ever had in my life. Like, anytime I get there, I post on my Snapchat story. I'm like, this is the food.
Now, okay, well, here, this is the true test, though. So, at any point in time of you going there, have you ever gotten, or anyone that you were with, ever gotten any sort of like, see, just, okay, so what I was about to ask Kyle, what I was about to ask Kyle was, at this place that he's going to, when you order, let's say, strawberry pancakes or banana pancakes, waffles, whatever, do they put the fruit on top or do they cook it in? That is the real test.
Right, like, call me conceited, call me difficult, call me a picky eater, but I don't want to be disrespected and pay $12 for a blueberry waffle, and the blueberries are sitting on top with a little whipped cream. That is just too much for me to handle.
Kyle, what I will say though, whatever this is looks extremely good. I will say that. I'm not saying that it's bad.
I will explain it.
That looks like an angel food cake.
No, it's French toast. So
Whoa, okay.
It's a piece of French toast that's soaked in creme brulee.
Wait, I got one question though.
What?
Why is that fruit not inside it?
Yeah.
Because this French toast, it's so soft, it's like a piece of cake. It's soaked in creme brulee.
So they're using the density excuse.
It's soaked in
okay. Oh, it'll just float right through the cake. It
won't work.
Yeah, it won't even
It's
stick.
got all the fruit with it. This was disturbingly sweet for like French toast and breakfast. I ate it. I'm like, okay, I don't think I could ever eat this again, but it was amazing. But they've got some good food, like the potato pancakes. Look at that. It's
I like
beautiful.
potato pancakes.
It's
with applesauce.
yeah, and it's like an apple. It's
Fritter?
not applesauce. It's like
No, fritter is like a Danish.
yeah, it's some it's
A cobbler?
apple type sauce.
Does
It's
it have
not
apples in
applesauce.
it?
No, but it's
Okay.
warm. It's like
Because in
it's really fresh. It's warm. It's delicious. It's got like goat cheese on top of it with green onions on the side, and then you got your bacon and your eggs. This is like Instagram type.
I'm about to say, it sounds like a place you might find a lot of people wearing beanies
But
inside.
still-
Honestly,
no
like, when
matter-
you go there and you get your food, this is like the type of place that like it's presented in a way that you want to take a picture of it. It's also worth it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Even with all of that you just said, the fact that they don't look, I will say they took a lot of time to, like you said, bring out presentable plates. That's smart of them. They want people taking pictures of their food and fucking posting it online.
Mm-hmm.
But B, the fact that they'll do that, but they're lazy enough to not bake in any fucking fruit in their pastry-ish breakfasts. That shit turns me off. But
Wrong.
I will say though, I would still go.
Wrong.
with
Would you take what I showed you over IHOP? They bake half of their fruit into their stuff, and it's shit.
Oh,
It's
okay.
awful.
I will disagree with you there. They have stuffed New York cheesecake pancakes that are out of this world. I mean,
look.
Okay, I know there's better out there, I'm sure. But in a pinch, by the way, they're IHOB now.
Are they really like IHOB?
Yeah, International House of Burgers.
No, I could have sworn that was a fucking joke.
Nah, it's real.
It's
It's
IHOP.
Yeah. I'm about to say because look, I knew that was fucking
Kevin's
fake.
questioning everything about his life.
It was
He's checking his bank
a whole, like,
accounts.
social media like joke thing, but they did like increase their burger options and
It was
everything.
brilliant of them because they got
got
fucking
everyone-
sapped
people
all
were angry.
all upset, you know.
Oh yeah, people are on podcasts I was listening to. They were like, "This is bullshit." They changed it to IHOP.
Like, I want my pancakes.
Yeah, they got people talking about it, so it's a good
Exactly.
idea.
It worked.
Yeah, no, like, honestly, like I feel like whoever came up with that idea, if they didn't get like a fucking raise, like
Yeah,
just like you remember when, and I think they still do it, how Coke, like Coca-Cola, they put the names on the Coke bottles.
Yeah.
That was the
worked out,
fucking
yeah.
most brilliant like
Hell
marketing
yeah.
scheme like ever.
yeah. It would be like share a Coke with Mike, and someone would bring it to you. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
And people were
You
like
got
going
me.
out of their way to look for theirs. Even if they barely drink Coke, they'll find theirs and they'll buy it.
Or they'll take pictures of it and post, "Hey, I found my name." Those
Right.
sons of bitches. That was.
I'm sure they saw
So
in the
smart.
future too all the cheesy couple pictures where they have the two bottles next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like share a Coke with this, and they like put the
I
little
guarantee
caption.
you, there's a number greater than 0 couples who, on their wedding day photos, they were holding up bottles of fucking Coke with like their names on it and doing some weird marriage
A
thing.
number
that's the thing
greater
about-
than 0. That's
Yeah.
It's accurate.
That's the shit about relationships. Is you'll think like, oh, I'm still myself. I just do everything the same as I always did. And then one day you realize you're like helping your girlfriend like arrange some shit for a picture on her Instagram on like the countertop, and then you're just like take a step back. You're like, what am I doing?
It's like I did not expect this.
You can get lost in the sauce sometimes. Shout outs to Nick Mosley. Shout outs to Andrew Norwood.
The crew, yeah, my god. We got to get Mosley on here.
Yeah.
One of those days, too.
Who else needs a shout out?
Shout out to the whole crew: Abe, Ahmed, Paul, Ellie,
Yeah.
Kyle, Licky.
Shout out to Mrs. Desjardins.
Connor.
Shout out to Mr. Arnold. Shout out to everyone.
And I'm pretty sure I ran into, well, not ran into, drove drove by.
Who did you run over?
An old principal of mine.
Yeah.
You mentioned Desjardins. It wasn't her.
You ran over Mrs. Desjardins?
No, she was actually really cool. Like
I remember
I
I was in the same grade as her daughter.
Yeah, I feel like Miss Desjardins got like unnecessary like hate from at least from like our like grade, because I feel like she was looked at as the like
the mean one,
strict one. The
yeah,
strict mean
she
one.
was.
I have no idea. I was in the second grade.
By the way, even though it's interesting to listen to anything, I was just thinking about shout-outs, how they always do that in like rap songs or interviews. Like as much as people would know who Mrs. Desjardins is, actually they might. Mrs. D. We should probably stop saying that.
No.
Dude, who's gonna be able to spell that first off? Because it's not spelled any way it's actually like pronounced.
Yeah, actually, challenge. Try it.
There's nothing but love coming from over here anyway, so.
I don't want anyone reporting you that you ran her over.
But
I was gonna say is like, I always makes me laugh on the radio too. Is no one ever knows who these people are half the time.
Someone does though.
No, I like it because I enjoy listening to the sort of fly on the wall conversations, but. Yeah, it's the people who they're trying to shout out to, but like, on the street they'll catch someone for a news thing and they'll be like, shout out to like, Uncle Becky, Aunt Joe.
Hey, look, it's 2019. Someone might have an Uncle Becky.
My daughter Andrew. Everyone's reverse. Yeah, it's 2019. You can be whatever. There's no rules here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a subject that we brought up before the podcast. So, relating to food, but in a much more depressing way. So, some things happened in the past week. One, we had the Garlic Festival shooting. The psychos out there gunning people down. And then we had the Texas shooter who's, targeting, sounded like a bunch of Hispanic people. And then on the other end, which they don't really want to talk about any of the sides or manifestos, they kind of left behind of what their beliefs were. The one up in Ohio was the third one, and that guy was way on the left. And he left some like Elizabeth Warren, like, obsession, like information. But the overall topic I was going to get at is it's a horrible time, so sending good thoughts to anyone in those areas. But overall, it has me thinking about everything I'm doing. There's these concerts I wanted to go to the rest of the summer. You start rethinking things. Do I want to be out in this open area with 400 people? Because you don't know where one of these things are going to pop off.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to live in fear, because that's the point. It is terrorism. That's what no one wants to call it, because that's the definition. Actions that instill fear in the public eye and basically keep people oppressed for any reason.
Yeah, so, I mean, first things first, rest in peace to all those people that died. Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And blessings to the good thoughts to the families, positive energy we're sending. There's only so much we can do over here, but other than just think good thoughts and try to be careful.
And then the second thing is you'll see while yes the one the Ohio person who I guess killed his sister as well too.
Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to bring up. Like,
did he know though? Yeah.
From what I understand, he had no manifesto posted whatsoever. So his political motives, or if there are any political motives, are unknown entirely, because there's been back
I feel like
and forth.
His were about women.
There was
just the vibe I got, because he went to like a downtown nightclubby area, and there was no manifesto, like you said.
It was like all back and forth. Like,
it was couples too, and
like,
women. He was.
Yeah, there were people trying to say that it was like he was left leaning, right leaning, central leaning, north, south, east, west, etc. From what I understand, everything I've looked at and looked into, he had no political motive whatsoever, but also the fact that Kevin said that his sister was one of the people that was shot. I don't remember if she died or not, but
no, she did.
That definitely.
If you look at the
down the idea that it was more politically charged compared to the one that legitimately had a manifesto put out there.
We won't know, and I guess it really doesn't matter, other than the fact that it's horrible. His own sister got taken out, as well as all these other innocent people. But I was reading about the sort of steps that led to that night, and he was going out with his sister. They drove together, and they, I guess, split ways. When they parked the car, and she went to go meet up with some people, and he went a different way. Went down an alleyway. Basically emerged around the block somewhere nearby and started shooting. And she was like the first or second person he came upon, and she was walking with a guy she met up with, probably to go grab a drink with. So I wonder if he even knew it was her. You know, it's dark out, it's nighttime, there's like all these bars and people outside. He probably circled around the block, and out of coincidence, the way the universe works, his own sister got taken out
We'll
first.
never know.
Yeah, we don't know.
One thing I heard...
It's horrible, though. I can't believe someone would do that.
One thing I heard... Well, one thing we all hear is the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. We've all heard that, and then... Everyone wants to think...
They have to be clear, and like, is that the public or the police? Because like, yeah, no one would have stopped them if the cops didn't shoot them.
Because when people refer to that, they're usually referring to just private citizens.
Right.
Now, in this case right
Kyle's
here...
like, I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah.
That's how I feel too, Kyle. My head wants to explode. But that's why we're just talking about the whole thing as a thing.
Yeah.
It's...
I don't want to get into politics deeply about it, but just
let me
like
just
as
finish
human
this thought.
beings, we're
Go
human
ahead,
beings.
continue.
Let me just finish this thought. So, in this particular case... Well, both these cases, but I guess specifically the Ohio one, a good guy with a gun did kill him. It was a cop.
Yeah.
But that cop got to him only 30 seconds after he started shooting.
I know, it's crazy. It shows you how fast it goes down.
That dude shot 14 people in 30 fucking seconds.
Right. Think of how long it usually takes for a cop to show up.
Those are not good enough stats for me. We can do much more, because, like... Whether it's terrorism or like someone going crazy, I think terrorism is a mental illness. So at the heart of it, it is mental illness.
They're
White
popping
supremacy,
up,
what the fuck ever, like it's all mental illness, and we're doing nothing to address that.
Did you see there was another one they stopped though? Within like it was like actually a month before any of these real ones popped off. This grandma turned in her own grandson.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She worked with the FBI. He had like an AK, ammo, all this shit in this hotel room, and she turned him in. It just makes you think all over the place. They're probably constantly working on cases, stopping this
Constant
thing.
close calls.
Yeah, you know, it's just a show. But you watch all these like CSI shows where they always catch something in like the last 3 seconds. It happens all the time.
Guaranteed that there's plenty that we don't know about that happening because they get caught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be completely shocked if there hasn't been like at least a dozen stopped terrorist attacks in the country that we just don't know about because they just got stopped and pushed under the rug. And just
especially
it never happened.
Overseas stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, we barely hear about the true events of what happens in secret missions and money. There's so much that happens on a like the military private sector level that's just hidden from citizens.
Yeah, like who the fuck knows what we got going on in like Libya or like fucking you insert X place.
Right. The world's a crazy place.
Yeah.
So anything else on your mind lately? So we're watching out for psychos, but what else is new in your life?
To play off of that, whenever I go to like a concert, for example, me and my girlfriend, we always
Shout out to Brittany.
Yep, shout out to Brittany.
Yeah.
Who's definitely not going to end up listening to any of this.
She might.
She should.
I'll get her to listen to it. Whenever we go to a concert, she is very adamant about being not in the center of the crowd and being within range of an exit.
Yeah.
It's like
Honestly, I have
That's
nothing
smart.
to hide. I like standing near the cops or the security guys.
Oh yeah, same here, yeah.
There's, God, we haven't been to a like large concert in a while. Like the last concert we went to on Monday, The Reign of Kindle.
Yeah.
Check them out. Amazing band. Shout out to the people I've actually no affiliation with. But I
It's
just
the
love them
opening
that
song.
much.
Yeah.
Yes, that opening song is The Hero, the Saint, the Tyrant, and the Terrorist by The Reign of Kindle. Amazing song.
Yeah, check it out if you enjoyed. We'll post a video.
Anyways, though, went there. There was only about 40 people in the concert altogether, and I feel like that's actually pushing it. I don't even think there were that many people. What's crazy is every concert I've ever been to, we get there, and there's usually a line waiting to get inside. Makes sense. This concert we got there about 15 minutes before it started. We were the only people there at first.
Oh shit.
Like straight up, there's no one else. And we're like, do we have the right place? Do we
Yeah,
have
is
the
this
right
our
time?
time?
Yeah.
And in the end, yeah, I think there's barely 40 people at the most. It was very small concert. It was very good though.
But see, yeah, those are like
It's more
I think
intimate. It's
yeah,
smaller.
more intimate. Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
I don't think I can really do the big crowds anymore with all the shit that goes on.
Oh my
you,
God,
You start
yeah.
to think
That's all
like,
I'm thinking about.
yeah, like at what point are you just paying some exorbitant amount to possibly get gunned down at one of these goddamn things?
And that's
Yeah,
that's
like,
the
that's
problem.
just
That's
not
why
worth it.
that's why I don't think it's a mental health issue. I mean, in a way, it is. Yes, that obviously plays into it because no normal, sane person is gonna go shoot up and kill people.
That's that. Yeah,
That's
what I'm getting at.
in the end, that is the absolute like as deep as you can go core. There's fundamental flaws in that person's thinking, whether they were raised that way or whether they were simply born missing something to be able to not
Feel that
do
way.
that and
No,
feel
People get
yeah.
brainwashed as well too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's why I said like raised
that's
that
all
way.
part of it.
But in the end, without getting too political, there's mental health issues everywhere. But this is the only country this is happening in.
Right.
So there's
It's just
We
like,
got
why
just-
put a target on yourself? And you think of the prices it costs to go to shit. It's ridiculous. If you think if you take, like, you know, your girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, to one of these music festivals, you're paying $400, $500, $600 each a ticket. And then you possibly have a rampage of people who didn't even pay for a ticket, like in Lollapalooza, come knock down the wall. Like, security... What security? People over assume security at these things? It's just a fence. People can trample
it's
like a brick wall.
And that was people. Imagine if it was just one dude who was just quick, who just hopped up there and then did whatever he was going to do.
Right, or
People
in the
wouldn't
crowd.
notice.
What if one of those, like, you see how many people were going through, like 100 plus, 50 plus in the video? They knocked the fence over, and then people were just running through like a crowd, and the only security or cop, whatever he was, guard that was there, he stopped a guy who had one leg, who had a prosthetic. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I would have let
All right,
that guy
so
go and
whatever you
tackled
guys are
someone
talking
else.
About, I have actually no idea.
Okay, so we'll post the video, but it's basically, you can look it up on your phone. Just type Lollapalooza, Trample, or Rampage. But
What was this year or something?
yeah, it just happened.
Just the other week.
So they have these basically just chain link fences at a lot of these events, and they cover them with paper or some sort of sheet vinyl so you can't see in. So it's like a private.
You can't climb them.
Yeah, so it makes it slippier. That's weird. I can't say that word for some reason. But they basically just started shouldering it, knocked it over a little bit. Then once they got some more weight onto it, they just knocked it to the ground, and people started just running in. But the thing is, like, how do you know one of those 50 doesn't have a piece on him? And he's a psychopath. Like, because you can say all the gate security, all that shit doesn't matter at that moment.
That's the crazy thing. Like, if I were in a different country, and I guarantee the majority of people in other countries, that's just something they don't think about, and that's a problem. Like, that's
I feel like in the
something,
U.S. it's just our infatuation with fucking guns.
Yeah.
It is. It's something that like we shouldn't have to think about. But a lot of people, their solution to it is to just it's either A, there's no solution, B, just blame something else, just deflect the problem onto some other thing and go
gay
after
marriage,
that.
Yeah.
Gay marriage, video games.
Video games.
Do you see that
Yeah.
one? Was
Gay
it?
video games.
Yeah.
There's homosexuals in
Gay
my
sex
video games,
in video
man.
games with violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all of those things together, man, that's what makes shooters.
Yeah.
Do you see from like Minnesota or some shit that one like was she a governor or whatever who blamed the recent shootings on video games and all this
Oh my
shit?
Yeah,
God.
it's
On gay marriage too? Really? Oh my god. Gay marriage led to the garlic festival?
But
I mean,
the fucked
Jesus
up thing is
Christ.
some people actually believe that shit.
Yeah,
I know,
but,
it's crazy.
the whole idea, like, I've seen people that try to say, like, oh, well, we should give everybody a gun. And it's like, that doesn't solve the problem. And I've seen people that are ready to just, like, go full out police state and
Yeah.
say, like, if
Everyone
we have
hand
more
it over.
officers, and there's...
Yeah.
Do you know
Ah.
what would be cool? Because I heard that there through a couple of the candidates they would tax like stocks in a new way that would free up a lot of tax dollars to apply to things.
Right.
What could be cool, and I'm not sure the cost of this or what it would be like, but I feel like you can't just take let's say someone's idea was, okay, over the next 100 years I want to drastically reduce the amount of firearms that Americans have. the first thing that you can't do is take people's guns. Like,
I mean, Australia pulled that and it worked.
But look how many people are in Australia.
Whoa, okay.
Let me finish. Yep. So,
I wasn't suggesting that would work.
But I feel like the way to do that would be a buyback program.
Yeah.
But
they do that in small amounts in communities all the time.
Obviously, like the first thing, because I feel like
where's all the money coming from?
I feel like most people, just like I said, like let's say a couple of candidates of the new stock thing, whatever. But let's say that
I like it's just like millions, billions. He's just like just whatever.
But yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know how much this would cost, but I mean, it would have to be enough to where it would be like financially, like there would have to be an incentive for the person.
Yeah,
doing
right. Because you think how expensive they are to buy in the first place, so you can't be giving people like $100 for something they paid $1,000 for.
And it might
the only thing is, because some candidates want to just like, well, I don't think any candidate just wants to get rid of like all guns, like, but like the main focus it seems are assault rifles, which I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Like. So I feel like assault rifles, like it could be a thing where it's like, okay, there's like a 7-year like rollout of we want like all these guns gone.
Yeah.
I feel like they offer a shit ton of money for, and like, obviously you can only account for registered ones.
Yeah. Do you want? I think that's bullshit though.
Wait.
No.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay, but it's just so simple though.
I got like
let's say
a combination thing too.
I'm just saying. Let's say if this was someone's like someone's idea, whether they're Republican, whether they're Democrat, Libertarian, what the fuck ever, they want to get assault rifles out of American citizens' hands, and they want 7 years. Let's say offer a shit ton of money in those 7 years, and if you still have yours, that you obviously it's still registered, you can still see it in those 7 years. That's when they have to take them. Let's say if it was like I feel like. Because it's like 7 years, you have 7 years to get your shit in order before, like, imagine if they rolled out the illegalization of all drugs in 7 years. Not, okay, we just signed the Controlled Substance Act, now everything's illegal.
Illegal or legal?
Illegal. The Controlled Substance Act made all drugs, like, well, not all drugs, but like drugs like weed. And,
I know, but you said all drugs illegal.
Well, that's pretty much what happened in the U.S.
Stuck in past tense right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're saying if they made them legal.
So imagine.
I think you misspoke once.
Okay, I got confused. I just got confused.
Yeah, so imagine
I did too for a second.
Like, I think like the '60s or whatever, they like just like that's when they were like, okay.
I feel like it was probably like the '80s because I know like Reagan was all like,
let's say
anywhere
between the '60s and '80s, that's when they were like, okay, they signed the Controlled Substance Act and all these drugs are illegal. So they didn't say, okay, yeah. Here's 7 years to turn in your drugs and get your money back for them, and then they
just made it illegal.
Yeah, they just made it illegal. Obviously, something like that could not happen with guns because that's how people die.
Or you can't flush them down the toilet either. What the fuck do you do with them?
So
not with that attitude, you can't.
Yeah, you just need a real strong plunger.
Whereas if let's say you took and you insert X amount of time, I really don't know how long something like that would like realistically take.
Like a million years.
You do that, but then offer that incentive buyback program. So it's like, okay, we're giving you all the chances in the world to even get money to turn in the stuff that's just now going to be illegal, and if you don't, then that's when you like they start fining you maybe.
Okay.
And then after that, like maybe after a certain amount of time of still being fined, that keeps increasing. That's when they have to like.
I think it's too complicated. People are gonna go out and do garlic number 2 if they try to follow all these stipulations.
I want to hear what Mike has to say.
Here's my.
What's up?
I have a very simple approach to this whole thing, and I'll just throw it out there. Well, one, my rebuttal to your, just the whole thing with the assault weapons, is realistically. Someone could do in these small close quarter areas, like it always happens in like a bar or a mall. I hate to say it, but someone could do the exact same shit with just a pistol.
I disagree because look, let's say you're in a bar and
they have pistols with 30-round clips, and you can shoot just as fast as a rifle.
Yeah.
So I feel like, let's say that they were going to that extreme measure, they would probably like make things like obviously people can still get shit, but they would probably just make those extended clips and the ability to turn those like regular pistols.
Okay.
I think they would make all that shit illegal in the buyback program as well too.
I would say it's like I don't think the problem is the devices. It's always who has their hands on them. I think that there's such little in like just worldview, not compared to any other country. We just do not test people's mental capacity enough before we let them have them. I think you need a better.
It's both.
Yes, both. There we go. There we go.
It's both. It's not one or the other because obviously
we don't need 60 round heavy machine guns out there. But I think it's silly to get into like should this have a 13 or a 18 round as the limit? Like how about we have these people who are obviously crazy. Who are like you see these pictures of them, they look like wigged out. Like what gun shop is like letting this person buy it?
That's
yeah, your turn now. I'm done.
yeah.
That was really it. I
so
just
like,
think better psychological testing.
My take on it, first off, like a lot of psychological testing and stuff like that, it's garbage. But
well, I mean, like I'm talking like doctor diagnosis.
Yes,
does this person have like borderline personality disorder?
So
not like that guy picked his nose.
To kind of combine both stances into one. I mean, Kevin, you're obviously like saying it's both, and you're on the same page here. It's sort of.
Honestly, I got thrown off. It was like wait 7 months and you get fined again, and then you wait 3 months and you wait for them to get angry. I don't even know what that was.
All right.
I really do though. It was kind of like a tiered fining system until you like turn them in or something.
Yeah,
or like a tiered reward system. That's what I think you were more going for at first.
I heard penalties. I heard fees.
Yeah, no, both. So. In those 7 years where where they're giving you that time to turn in your guns, that's when they'll give you money. But
realistically,
after
though,
that 7 years, that's when they start fining you, and then after a certain amount of time, let's say you get more in trouble, you get a knock on your door.
Realistically, though, do you think anyone who goes into the negative when they start going on the fine list rather than the trade-in amount they can get, so they're now they're gonna have to pay? Do you think anyone past like a year of the fine scheme growing? Do you think they ever plan on paying the fine? More like they're like, come get them.
Exactly.
Those are the people. Wait, if there's someone with that mentality, they don't need a gun for
example. That's true.
Exactly.
I guess so is the end plan and all that. Then there's gonna eventually just raid like thousands or hundreds of thousands of people and just take them down. The people that refuse to give them back. I mean, that's basically what that boils down to.
All right, dude. Worst shit's happened in history. But look, I would rather have that than fear for the rest of my life or my kids' life to be in mass shootings.
All right,
that's right. One thing I think we can all take away from this, though, to close it out. I'll let Kyle finish. I'm just saying I'm done. I'm done here, but I'm done with this whole thing.
Close it out and be like, all right, let's move on.
No. I mean, the podcast is going up. You guys want to keep going? But I'll say with this topic in general, I think my last thought is you can't have simple answers to extremely complicated solutions. If people just say, take all of this away or do this, it can't be like a one-sentence answer for such a complicated thing.
Mm-hmm. See, at the same time, though, it's, in my opinion, more straightforward than what a lot of people like to claim it is. I feel like a lot of people attempt to claim that it's a very complicated issue that's going to take decades to resolve, and they kind of use that as a form of deflection to keep
excuse.
Yeah, that seems way too long.
As a deflection,
that's too hard for us.
Deflection excuse to keep just everything going, because if you keep a topic going long enough, people are going to stop caring about it.
Yeah.
People are going to stop talking about it, and that's just how everything works. That's how the media works. That's how our minds work.
Yeah, we get sick of it.
The longer something's talked about without any action whatsoever, the more you talk about just making that action, the quicker people are just going to stop thinking about it eventually. And no matter what, that's what's going to end up happening again this time. Unfortunately, it wasn't
the last time.
It's going to go for another month or so. Lawmakers are going to keep going back and forth. We need more restrictions. We need more restrictions on X, Y, Z, video games, mental health, etc., etc. This wasn't politically charged. This was politically charged. It's going to keep going back and forth for like a month or two. And it's going to slowly die down. And then like 3 months from now, no one's going to talk about it because it's not going to matter. We're just going to sit here and wait for the next tragedy.
That's true. Everything just gets its moment of fame, and then the next big thing comes along and everyone stops talking about the last thing.
And there's a lot of people that sit back and are like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. There's
Minimal.
There's people that are like, there's nothing I can do, and legitimately, for some people there's just straight up nothing you can do, and that's about it. But even then, I don't really think there's absolutely nothing you can do.
Treat people better. How about that?
Complacency
do that.
and
legalize prostitution.
Yeah, those fucking incel dudes.
I'm telling you,
Dude.
do you see the mug shots of these guys? I don't
I don't want to fucking see what these dudes look like.
I saw someone post. I didn't search it.
Do not give them any fucking fame.
I'm not at all. I will just say that I took a glance at these guys. That it looks like they were in a very bad place. They probably weren't having much luck with ladies.
Yeah, see, like, complacency and inaction, that's just... If you say you have a problem with the way something currently is, but you're complacent with it and you don't want to take action yourself, that's agreeing with it. It's going with this...
It's good enough to fit in.
If you're saying, like, you verbally disagree with, like, the way a system is in place, but you don't do anything about it, you're going along with the system. So you're contradicting yourself. That's, like, what I gotta say regarding that. But anyways, short overscope of, like, my idea. So, example, there's really no just general... Now, look, I can't say there's no general standards for, like, the way a gun can be purchased. I won't lie, I don't know too much about it. So what I could say right now could be completely, like, how it already works. And if that's the case, then shit, it doesn't work. It needs to be changed.
There's basically a waiting period with a criminal background check, so they do that at least. But there's no, like, they give a processing time, so any, like, things that's on the edge, some database has to be updated from another state that hasn't made it yet, so you can't, like, slip past some period of...
Get through the cracks.
Yeah, like, if you just did something bad and somehow it didn't reach their systems.
The record yet.
Yeah, so there's some short waiting period, but there's no, like, mental health screening or anything like that.
Look, more needs to be done in terms of who can get a gun, and I really absolutely despise the argument that, if they can't get one legally, they'll just go get one in the streets. Hold the fuck up. Look, yeah. I don't know about you two. I have no idea where the fuck to go get a gun illegally from.
Probably a shady 7-Eleven somewhere.
Look. Honestly,
parking lot.
You could be surprised because it's like maybe not someone directly but like maybe like 2 or 3 people down the line. Like honestly,
my grandpa told me someone, like, this is like 10, 20 years ago, someone tried to sell him a gun in like a 7-Eleven parking lot. He pulled up at like 11 at night and the guy popped his trunk open and he had like, this guy had bazookas, he had AKs.
They were probably all involved in like 2 murders each.
Yeah. But he said no, obviously, but the guy had it all.
With a lot of these cases, though, if it was just simply made harder for them to acquire their means to go about the murder,
it would stop.
It would stop. It's because
people are
by
lazy.
by making it harder, it discourages them, and these types of people that are going out for this, unless they're so politically charged by it, like true pure terrorism, it's a different case. But with the mass shooting, let's say like some incel, like can't
is he gonna go down to the hood?
Can't go bang his like girl he's been talking to for like 10 years. It's like his best friend. He's not, if he can't go get if he has to wait like a year to get a gun.
By the way, there was a lot of, as you mentioned, good point. This isn't like all about women or anything. A lot of them left political manifestos, and the one guy had an ex-girlfriend who said she wasn't surprised he did some shit like that.
Exactly. People need to speak up more, because like the grandma case, she spoke up, it was stopped. I guarantee that there is no shooter that went off and committed their crime where someone close to them didn't think about it, because it's a legitimate problem that people don't speak out and when they see something going wrong.
Yeah, if you notice one of your friends starts like stops showering or something, or like not taking care of themselves, they stop answering texts.
About guns.
Like you gotta recognize those signs for someone that's just like not doing well. Like that's something that a lot of people don't really look out for, and if people just start caring about each other more, that could at least... It's not going to solve all these problems, of course not, but it's going to at least allow people to realize and notice those signs that could be leading to some type of disaster, whether it's suicide, murder, etc., etc. There's always clear signs that lead up to it, but people a lot of people think, well, someone else will go say something about it. Like you're walking by like, let's say, example, high school. You see two people getting in a fight, and you're like, oh, someone else is going to take care of that. No one's going to, like, stop this kid from getting bullied. And the next person's going to come by and think the same thing, keep thinking and keep thinking that.
Effect.
It's the bystander effect, but it goes so much wider than what people really think about, and there's a lot of things that just go on, the way people are treated and everything, that you turn away from it because acknowledging it means that it's a real problem, and for most people it's easier to just continue on with your life as if you didn't see it happening.
I think the first step, like you said, is knowing there's all these battles going on, seeing that in other people too.
Yeah.
And just accepting that everyone is going through struggles on and off. Not everyone else, life is great and you're the only one who keeps losing or bad shit keeps happening to you. There's like good and bad just flowing all over the place.
Yeah, like the people that look completely perfectly fine, they have their own, like, you could look at someone and they could look like they have everything together, or their life is in a perfect spot, and they could be
on the edge of a string. Like,
exactly. They could be so horribly depressed, but put on the mask. But even then, no matter what, there's still signs that can be seen for those types of things. And if you look out for people, then you can notice those.
You never know what's going to set someone off. Like you said, someone might just be, going through the motions every week. They're just, just barely getting to work. They're horribly depressed. And it just takes that, one person that's not nice to them that day for whatever reason. They're in a bad mood, and they just they make like a snarky comment, or kind of like make fun of them a little bit. That might be the day that person just goes home and takes a couple too many Valiums or something.
Yep.
You have to be cognizant of other people's emotional state when you're talking to them. Like, do they look down? Do they need a friend in need?
Yeah, you really can't expect to.
You can't expect anything.
Yeah. You really can't, because just like you mentioned, if you got into some sort of like even a very small argument or side comment with someone, you don't know how that other person is going to take it, or B, what that person is going to do after, whether that's something to themselves or someone else.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying to just tolerate people being an asshole to you or anything, but like I feel like
just try being nicer to each other, for Christ's sake. That's all.
Never escalate, but I feel like it's always better to be the one to de-escalate shit.
Yeah.
Right. Like, say you get into a little traffic scuffle with someone, a road rage incident, and you don't be the bigger person, and you let it keep escalating a little bit, and you keep swerving at each other, and tension's high. What if that guy goes home and you don't know that he was actually on the way back from getting divorced, and he goes back home and like kills his neighbor or something? Right. You just don't know what's gonna, where someone's day is. You don't know where they're coming from. Not everyone's just going to and from work. They could be coming from funeral homes, people in the hospital, getting fired. You have to just let life be.
Like, just because someone's having a bad day doesn't mean they act like that every day.
Yeah.
So, like, if you come across a stranger and they're angry at someone, there's no point in getting angry at them, because you don't know their life, and you're not going to help anything just getting mad at them too. You want to de-escalate the situation. At the same time, like, I'm not saying that's an excuse for you to go be an asshole to somebody. No, like, screw that. Like, if control yourself, but still.
I feel like
everyone has off days.
Yeah,
definitely.
Even the worst people in the world have even good days as well too.
Yeah.
Not everyone is evil 100% of the time.
That's a great point.
Some people could be, but
doing anything or being anything 100% of the time, other than just being yourself, whatever that day may be. Maybe you're a little bit more tired or a little more jubilant that day. But other than that, it's hard to fake anything or be anything 100% of the time.
Like, I'm sure the Pope has said in his mind before, I want to smack this shit out of this, person, like, at one point in his life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, or name, some sort of good person out there, I don't know. But, like, or Bill Gates, for people will talk about a lot of shit about Bill Gates from, like, way back when. Wasn't he, like, a ruthless, like business, the way he handled business, like, he stoke up a lot of, like,
are we talking like Bill Gates Sr. or computer Bill Gates?
Computer Bill Gates.
Didn't he have a bunch of those short half-height people that were painted orange build Microsoft?
Oompa Loompas?
Yeah. Isn't that the story of Bill Gates? How he started Microsoft?
I've heard like Bill Gates Sr. was the businessman. He was, I think.
His dad helped hook him up because
Yeah,
he had like contacts in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I think you might be thinking more of his dad.
I don't know.
Like,
I just heard that the company Microsoft, like they got pretty big by like trying to like.
Don't get me started on companies
off,
now. Like
get off on like smaller companies around them, and
buying them up,
like strong arming people.
That's what every big company does. Like if you look at
capitalism right there, that's how it works.
Half the small software shops and contractor shops around here are all bought up by like Ford, GM, like all the automakers.
Place I'm interning for right now, they started off. They have like one original thing that they started themselves,
and the rest is all.
They've literally bought everything else. Like even like the thing they're biggest, like most people like will know them for by name.
Yeah.
They bought like 10, 15 something years ago, and it's taken so long that it's just recognized as theirs now. But they just bought everything. Like
it's good business because if you do 10 projects, one of them sticks. And then the rest are duds, and then you suddenly have a bunch of cash flow coming in, but you're depending all on that one thing. Wouldn't you buy 10 other smaller companies so you have all these cash streams coming in and a diversified product line?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I would do with one app is I would buy 3 other people's apps.
If you have exactly, if you have the money, and why risk something yourself when you have the money? You can buy something that's already working
and established,
make it better, and then just get rid of the rest of the competition with your money because you can do that.
You never want to be a one-hit wonder. Never want to be a one-hit wonder.
Oh man!
Any final thoughts? Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, no, that was fun.
It was good.
Thanks for coming back on the podcast.
Yeah, glad to have you back on.
A little bit of a sad topic, but we have to address this. It's a little bit behind with the way we post, but this will be up mid-August.
Sounds like a point.
Thanks for listening.
Right.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yep, what is it? The TCOC podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to the Reign of Kendo.
Reign of Kendo. Shout out to that.
Or you can just play the intro a few more times.
Yeah, just seriously, listen to that song a few times. You're not.
There, said it.